I would love to double click on that. I think
Okay.
that, there's the I'm not good enough or I can't do the job, but then there's the sort of, why am I having this negative thought about myself?
On the nose. Yeah. And it makes me so aggravated, which then that becomes a cycle.
Right. And
So
then
then I
why
have
am
to like
I
go take my dog for a walk or something just to,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm aggravated about being aggravated.
Yes, yes. And when did I become negative? I know better. And
Yeah. Yeah. And you mentioned the thing about your dad too, and
yes.
sort of his coaching approach and all that. So,
Oh yeah. I mean, in college, I'm aging myself, but he used to give me like cassette tape slash CDs on like Anthony Robbins and positive thinking and rah, rah, rah. That's not who I am when you meet me, but that stuff lives in the back of my head.
right.
So yeah, there's a huge level of like I'm mad at myself, but then I'm mad also. Yeah, you got me.
Okay. So let's see, just see if you can get in touch with that feeling of aggravation. And
Oh, I
maybe it's
can't.
aggravated about being aggravated, like just
That's it.
whatever feels like most kind of the top of the stack in a way.
Yeah, and it lives right in the pit of my stomach.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's I'm just going to write this in the chat: aggravation, pit of the stomach. All right. Yeah. I can relate. I think others can relate too. So see if you're able to notice it and try to notice it. Try to sort of see if you can notice it at a lower volume than when it's overwhelming. So when
Mhm.
it's overwhelming, maybe it's like, 100% volume or 70% volume, but see if you can notice it lower, like around 20 or 30%. Is that possible?
You're saying like, okay, I'm going to shrink this thing. I was
Just,
in my
I
head, oh,
mean,
I
you
could
can
take
just
it to
sort of
50.
ask
50%?
it.
Can we go 50? Yeah.
Just
Yes,
ask it. Just say,
I
hey,
will.
would you be able to show up like as if the aggravation is like its own person? Just say, hey,
Hmm.
would you be able to be at 50%?
Yeah, I can do it.
Just so that we can get to know you better.
Right.
Like, who are you? I'm so curious. Like, let's meet each other. Yeah. So what's that like when you try to do that?
In my mind, I'm thinking, I don't want to meet him. I want him to go, leave
Yeah.
that
Okay.
feeling.
So then
Yeah,
who's that? Who's that wants it to go?
that's me. I think that's me being like type A, for lack of a better word.
Okay. So that's the
That
type A version of you.
perfectionism. Yeah, yeah.
And where does that version of you exist? Is that in your head or in your chest?
Yeah, that's how I was raised in my head, but it all translates to
Yeah.
in my belly,
Okay.
in the gut. Yeah.
Okay. So you're noticing that type A voice more in your head? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So see if you can just notice that experience in your head too. Just the way you're noticing the pit in your stomach.
I can capture my thoughts about it.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. You're going to suggest to hold those thoughts captive? I'd be like, oh, okay.
But we can do the same thing again. We can say, "Oh, that's so interesting. Tell me more."
Okay.
That voice
Okay.
wants to really express something. So it's like, what is it? What else does it want to say?
Okay. So now I have the voice. Can I tell you what I'm going through right now?
Yes, that would
Okay.
that would be great.
So now I have and I have a weird visualization of me when I was in elementary school swinging on the swings. That's
It's
when all
so
this
not
stuff.
weird. That's so absolutely accurate to what you experienced,
Okay.
where this is
Okay.
coming from.
Okay. And I and I'm telling the girl on the
Yeah.
swings that's being driven in her type A environment being raised, relax, take a deep breath. You're not helping yourself. You're you're actually hurting yourself. So just relax.
Mm,
That's what
mm.
I'm doing.
Okay. And then what's she doing?
She's pumping harder. So,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
I
Okay.
don't know if she knows how, is I guess,
What if you just said, "Hey, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. I'm with you.
wow, it never occurred to me to talk to myself like that. Um, yeah, okay.
Look at you. You're pumping. You're pumping so hard. Amazing."
She just flipped off the swing in my head to show off.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah,
Now she's standing there. She stuck the pose and she's
yeah.
yeah.
And now in my mind's eye, she's just running to the next, what now, what can I go conquer?
Uh-huh.
And
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I'll be really honest with you and everyone who's still on the call. I exhaust myself with this. I always say my mind is like three Ferris wheels, and I just keep hopping. And I don't have ADD or ADHD. It's just how my mind processes,
Mm. Yeah.
and I jump back and forth with a lot of if-thens.
Okay. Mhm. Yeah. And so what's interesting is that you are doing that, but then also what you're talking about in this visualization is you're watching a part
Hmm.
of you do this. So who's the one that's watching that?
The adult, me, the girl sitting in this chair,
Right.
the mom, yeah,
Right.
the one in charge.
The real you.
Right, right.
I just got chills. It's like, okay, now we're home.
So in my mind's eye, do I take the little girl by the hand, sit her down, and say, "Relax, breathe"?
Well, you can experiment, really.
Okay.
And first of all, she's just a little girl. What do little girls like to do?
You want to know what my little girl likes to
I
do?
mean, you can answer
Yeah,
that, but you can also just
yeah,
keep the
yeah.
question and
Okay,
you can
yeah.
ask that tomorrow and the next day. And
Right,
there's a
right.
little girl part of me that is type A. Wow. What does she like to do? How can I support her?
She's bossy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you're
Okay.
also an adult and
I
you've
am.
raised kids
I have.
and you know how, you know, probably what a bossy kid can be like.
Oh, yes.
And if you start fighting with them, is it going to work?
No bueno.
Right, right.
Right.
So you stay in that mature, grounded, motherly version of yourself and you allow her to have her experience.
Okay.
And then you want to just support her. And when she's ready, she's going to look to you for the next step.
Okay.
But in the meantime, you don't want to try to convince her or change her or force her to do something that she's not ready for.
Okay. So my attempt, and I didn't parent this way, so it's not funny, but it's good that you said that. I
Mhm.
want to reel her in, but like my oldest child was this way. I just let him go and do his thing, and then he always came back.
Right,
Obviously he wasn't hurting himself or whatever, but
right, right.
okay, I got it.
And so it's all like you already know how to do that. It's just there's that certain part of yourself that you haven't tried
Yeah.
doing it that way yet,
Right.
but you know how
Okay.
to do that.
I do.
Yeah. So it can be, I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. It might be easy, but it might be challenging too, because it
Hmm.
just depends on what other patterns there are that might come in.
Right. Right.
But I think
Okay.
what I'm hearing is you have a kind of a clarity of what's happening inside of you and how you might want to approach
Hmm.
that sort of type A little girl
Right.
who seems so awesome, by the way. Like, wow.
She's bossy. She's very bossy, but thank you. I appreciate it. She just likes to have it. Well, that's why I'm a project manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then,
Thank
you
you.
know, what I just want to say too is that there was her that was sort of trying to control the aggression. Is that
Right.
is that accurate though? I just want to check.
The little girl or the adult me?
The little girl was trying to control the aggression. I
The little girl tries to control everything.
okay.
Yeah. So she has to, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't want to tell your story. I just want to check it how
No,
well
no,
I'm
no,
listening.
no, no. Even as a project manager, it was hard for me. I had to learn how to breathe because not I want everything to happen yesterday.
Right.
And that's my biggest challenge. I mean, I'm a woman of faith too, so I also feel like there's a reason that I'm in this situation. And it's to teach me to give myself some grace.
Mm, wow.
Just it doesn't come easily.
Yeah. One
But
thing.
yeah, I can talk to her and myself, her.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm talking, yeah, and kind of
Yeah.
reel her in without reeling her in. Still let her be her. Is
Hmm.
that what yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Like let her know that you're there and that
Right.
when she's exhausted, that she can come in and relax.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can try and do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, okay. All right. Take care, Jolene. So, what I just wanted to say was that there's the other layers underneath that are because we're kind of removed now from the original imposter syndrome that you were talking about,
Yeah, I'm
and
sorry.
then the frustration. And this is exactly how this kind of process that we're doing, this is how it goes. So, you want to find really that outside layer where you can really start to explore and get to know yourself and then once that kind of loosens up a bit more and maybe you feel like you have a more clear perspective, then those more subtle layers are going to become available to like to explore and to feel and to integrate.
Okay. Well, can I ask you a question and
Yeah.
see if you think, okay, so I decided taking all everything I just said into consideration, I've decided to pivot and
Mhm.
then look at other jobs that are still doing what it is that I'm good at with different titles. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to come at it that way because
Yeah.
there are some similarities between a project manager and an engagement manager or a vendor manager. So I'm just trying to handle it that way. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Well, and what I find is that a lot of the times you have a job title that's really common
Right,
and everyone's searching for that kind of job.
right.
And then there's companies that are looking for that same kind of support, but they don't call it that. They call it
They call it a
something
different,
else.
right, right. I've noticed the same. Okay,
And so actually even job searching using keywords that are based on the responsibilities of a job, that can be a really unique strategy for finding jobs because
no,
like
I've
you
not done
noticed,
that.
you're going to find jobs that are the same type of job, but they have a different job title.
Okay,
What's everyone doing? Project manager, job opportunities. That's what they're all searching for.
right,
But if you find kind of something to search for where then the job title is different, but it's the same type of job,
right.
just going
That's
to
what
be
I'm
less
trying to, right,
less
that's what I'm
people
trying to
finding
do.
that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
So that is like one strategy to kind of get off the beaten path a little bit.
okay.
But what I'm hearing too is that more the challenge that you're experiencing is that you don't have the PMI certification like officially, like you have
Right.
the skills obviously, but you don't
I,
officially have the
I have not
certification.
taken yes, I haven't taken the test that says,
And
and
so
that's where I'm at, but that's money. So,
and so if a job says you're required to have this, then that feels like that's like a barrier that
yes,
so
yes,
finding jobs that don't have that or finding jobs where you're able to communicate that you have the equivalent
right.
of that. And then, maybe that's something that you write on your resume, like I have the equivalent of,
I
or
do. I
just
have that.
something
Yeah.
that you talk to a hiring manager about. Um, I
Okay.
don't know, like you send, sometimes you can apply and then you can send them a message at the same time and just say, hey, I just
Right.
applied. Just wanted to let you know, like I'm really interested in the job, no, 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 but also I don't have this one requirement, but I have an equivalent.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Okay.
kind of thing can work. Does that help with what you're asking?
It does. It actually, just talking about it in right now, the pit in my stomach is much smaller.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I'm a talker too, Robin. I think it was Robin that said he's a talker.
Yeah.
I am too, and it actually helps.
That's great. So, I
Yeah.
mean, really think about that too. Like, and think about that as part of your job search strategy is like gonna have someone to talk to once a week or something like that, just to like externally process my experience.
Right.
Because that if that really benefits you and helps you get more clear about what you really want and more confident and everything, then it's, you know, it's kind of this side thing, but it's actually part of the main thing, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I want to say something before I forget.
Um, so why don't we I just want to wrap up really quick here with Jolene, if that's okay. And then but I mean, I just want to say thank you, or sorry, Jodee.
I was
Um,
with you.
Yeah.
I know what you meant.
I was just looking in the chat and I saw
I
Jolene's
figured.
name. Um, so I just wanted to say thank you, and I really appreciate how you shared about that the little girl that's on the swing and you watching her and all that. It's so powerful what you shared. So yeah,
Well,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much for
Thank you.
bringing.
I sometimes feel a little nutty, but that is what goes on in my head. So
Yeah.
it is what it
Well,
is.
those are I mean, I don't know if that specifically is a real experience, but it's probably associated with a real experience.
No, it really is. Yeah, no, yeah, it
And that's
is.
totally normal. Like we have memories and they inform us throughout
Okay.
our life. That's one of the reasons we have memories.
Right, right.
They help us kind of know how to navigate new situations. So it's totally valid and beautiful, really. So I just want to say thank you for all of that.
Thank you.
All right.